and she's a member of the Atomic City Toastmasters Club. She's been married to her husband now for 17 years, and they have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls, that range in age from 14. She's the owner and founder of Creative Success Systems and has authored the book Creative Goal Setting and Habit Forming. As a public speaker and coach, she works with a wide variety of groups and teaches effective goal-setting methods from small business owners and those in sales industry, youth with academic and athletic goals, and to women and families striving to balance life and careers. Michelle assists many individuals in developing successful habits, uncovering a person's real why, and creating a plan to accomplish that goal is one of Michelle's expertise. Most of her time is spent homeschooling, coaching, or speaking at Toastmasters. In addition, she brings awareness to many regarding human trafficking and the dangers of pornography to our youth. When she isn't involved in one of those passions, she loves to camp, crochet, and cook. Help me welcome Michelle.
Good morning. So as people come in, I'm going to get to know you just a little bit before I get started, or we get sat down. So let me kind of pull you a little bit. Tell me, let's see, who's been the longest in Toastmasters? Who's been here 2 years? 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? How long?
Yeah. 23 years.
23 years. Okay, so the only one I know that's longer is my friend Jack, that's in Atomic City. He's been there since as long as when before I was born. I won't tell you my age, I'm not going to play it here. It was pretty impressive. All right, so tell me how many of you have children? How many of you have children still at home? Some of you, okay. How many of you are in management positions or lead people or even in sales? A couple of you. Okay, what other types of employment do we have out here?
Retired.
Retired. Finance? Cool. All right, very fun.
Freelance writer and author.
Very cool. Fabulous. Excellent. IT, does you say IT? Cool, what else? All sorts of different things.
Administrative.
Administrative, super. All right, good morning. Okay, well, I am just very, very excited to be here. We are going to have a lot of fun. So let me tell you, I'm a little magical. I have some magic powers, and I'm going to work them all on you this morning. And I'm pretty certain, believe it or not, that my magic powers are so strong that I can take control of your minds today. Okay, you think I can do that? I believe with just a few words and even one little picture that I can take control of what you're thinking. And I'm even going to help you out and try to give you the benefit of the doubt. And I'm going to, when I tell you these words, I'm going to tell you not to think about it. Okay? I'm going to try to help you out. And so I want you to use every ounce of energy you have to try not to let me be successful. Okay? So let's see if it works. So what I'm going to tell you to not do is with every ounce of your energy, I want you to not envision a pink elephant. Okay, you think about anything else, but don't let that pink elephant pop into your mind. Strive, get down real deep, do anything you can, but don't let a pink elephant come into your mind. Okay, no pink elephants, right? How's my magic work? Did anybody lose? Did I like to be wrong, so tell me if did anybody succeed not getting that pink elephant in your mind? All right, excellent. Have you maybe feeling a pink elephant? Do not feel or kick the pink elephant.
Imagine you naked.
Oh! All right. I hope in your dreams that I am a lot cuter than I am. So imagine all you want. Okay. So pink elephant. I'm going to bet money on the fact that you all have the same magic power. That you have told people, like maybe children, don't hit your sister, don't run in the street, don't date that guy. And I bet they did it. Oh my gosh. And you want to know why? Because we think about what we actually hear, and did you know your subconscious does not hear or register the words not, don't, can't, won't, don't. Your brain doesn't hear those. So when I said don't think about the pink elephant, I told you not to do that. And still it happened. Why did that happen? Okay, our poor little subconscious brains, they cannot hear those words don't. Okay, it's really amazing power, the power of words and what we think about. Okay, and so often what we think about is what we do. Okay, all right. So let me tell you a little bit about an experiment I had just this last couple of weeks. I have a 14-year-old son who really is this amazing kid. He's far better than the parenting he gets, okay? And we moved into this house in June, and I'm not kidding. I mean, this was just like my mom was coming for Easter, and we had some family events coming. And I'm like, Porter, can you please clean your room? So I decided to try this experiment. And I took a piece of paper and I wrote, Dear Porter, thank you so much for cleaning your room, that everything's off the floor. All your clothes are neatly put away and drawers are in the hanging up, that every flat surface is clean and things are put away and dusted and vacuumed. Thank you so much for making your room lovely, that when we have guests, we're not embarrassed. This is the first time his room's ever been clean, and he's actually kept it clean. And I was like, oh wow, I'm really excited about my little experiment. So some of you may be wondering, well, what on earth does this have to do with goal setting? I come to a class called goal setting. Let me ask you a little bit. How do you feel about goals? Which one of these three? This is usually one of the categories people fit in. Either hate them, love them, or does it really make any difference? Okay, so go A, B, and C. Who's the hate them? I'll do everything I can not to set them. Got one. It's funny, Toastmasters usually are kind of goal setters most of the time when I talk to them. There's a reason they're at Toastmasters. There's a reason we all torture ourselves up. We get up every week and talk, okay? Love them. Who loves to set goals? Okay, so we're gonna have lunch.
That's my
Who wonders if they're really necessary? Okay, all right. Okay, so we're going to see how this goes today. So hopefully my magic powers are going to convince you to go home and set some goals. Maybe you write some down before you leave today. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a fun story. Anyone know who Jim Carrey is? Anyone not know who Jim Carrey is? Okay, Jim Carrey is a lot of fun movies, right? And he's from Canada, and he came down to LA. He is. Are you friends? He's from LA, moved to LA from Canada, and he was trying to get into showbiz. He was a great stand-up comedian, but he wanted to get into movies. And, you go to one audition after another, and wonder, okay, when am I ever going to get my break? So he had this fun thing he did. This was one of his magic tools he did. He took a check, and he wrote to himself, Jim Carrey, for $10 million, put a date on it, November of 1995, for acting services. And whenever he got discouraged, he'd go sit up by the Hollywood sign, and he would look at his check, and he'd envision himself being in the movies. And this check he put in his pocket, and it got wore out, and it got more wore out, and it got torn, and the edges ruffled. And just before Thanksgiving of 1995 is when he got the deal to do Dumb and Dumber. Okay? This was his little magic tool. Does that seem silly? Okay, but these things really work. I'm going to share one more story with you. So I have this very, very cute daughter, and I can brag, because I'm her mom. Of course she's cute. And she loves to dance, and she loves to do ballet. And so she had some goals, and we went and got a worn-out point shoe from the dance studio. She wasn't quite in point shoes herself yet. And we took Sharpies. Okay, like you can't even tell what these pictures are. You just have to trust me on this. But she had a couple parts that she wanted a nutcracker. And if any of you have seen Nutcracker here in Tri-Cities, they change it up every year. It's a beautiful performance. They do a really good job. But different ages do different parts, and they change things around, and you never know what they're going to do that year. She had two goals. This little thing right here, where'd it go? This is a little candy. She wanted to be a bonbon. Okay, she wanted to be a bonbon. And she wanted to be a party girl, which if you've seen the first part of Nutcracker, that is like the part to have because you're on stage forever, and it's the best thing ever. She had been a party girl before, but you know, you're really lucky if you get to do it again. So these were her 2 goals. And she went and auditioned, and you don't get to put down like what part you're trying out for. You are at the mercy of the studio, okay? And they've seen you all year long, so the audition is just a formality, quite frankly. So you go to the studio, and all the things are listed on the board, and guess what she got? She was a party girl and a bonbon. She got both of her parts. And I was like in awe. I'm like, Abigail, that's amazing. I'm so excited for you. And this is my cute little Abby, and she's so fun to watch dance. I really believe in setting goals with kids. It's, oh my goodness, there's so much power. There's so many stories I can tell you. All right, let's move on. One of the things I really believe in is that it's so important, whether you're asking for it in a note to yourself or you're going and getting help. Asking for what you want is incredibly important. Did you realize that if Aladdin didn't open his mouth and ask the genie for what he wanted, he couldn't get it? Okay, there's a great book called The Aladdin Factor. Victor, I can't remember who wrote it.
Jack Canfield
Jack
and
Canfield.
Mark Victor Hansen.
Thank you. And this is an amazing principle to learn, to ask for what you want. One of the activity I give some of my coaching clients is, I want you to come back with 10 really bizarre no's. I want you to ask the guy if they'll buy you your coffee. I want you to ask your kid to clean some room they never have. Go out and get me 10 really bizarre no's, just to get them comfortable. And we even have, I mean, if any of you are Christian religious, we even have the scripture, ask ye shall receive. There really is amazing, amazing power in asking, okay? When there's something you're thinking about doing, and I know you all have something kind of in the back of your head or in your heart, something you'd like to do, something you'd like to try, the best thing you can do is go ask someone who has done what you want to do or something similar. Sometimes you have sort of a unique idea, but there's usually someone who's done something very similar. Go find a book, go find the internet. That's even a great way to ask. Because some people don't have time to sit down and talk to you, but most will. You'd be surprised how many people love to share their expertise. I have one other hint for you when it comes to asking. If you really hate no's and it makes you uncomfortable, I give people permission to say no. I'll say, you know what, you may not be able to do this, and that's totally okay. But is there any way you could do this? And it's really amazing. It works a lot, and it takes the pressure off them and me. And I do get no's. I get no's all the time, but I get a lot more yeses because I'm willing to open my mouth. Okay? So try that. That's another magic trick. Ask for what you want. Okay, I really believe if you're someone who doesn't quite, just doesn't believe in that whole idea of goal setting, and you feel kind of stuck, that starting a bucket list is a really good place to start. I have an endless amount of stories on this, but I'm going to share one story with you. So, my cousin, she was married to a gentleman who is not a very nice person. Really, really not nice person. And so she finally divorced him, was married to this new guy, and I had written this book about goal setting. I said, Jody, will you take a look at my book? I said, I'm going to be down to your area in a week. Let's chat. I says, in the meantime, is there any chance you'd start a bucket list? She says, Michelle, I don't think I can dream like that. I don't think that's something I can do quite yet. I just got remarried and trying to build up my confidence. I'm not sure I can. I says, okay, that's up to you, but I'd love to see what would happen if you start this bucket list. So she said, okay. I get down there a week later, and I have a couple of speaking engagements, and I'm in between these 2 speaking engagements, and she's there. And I'm trying to prepare for this other one, but you can tell she's not going to leave till I could speak to her. And so I finally just slowed down and said, okay, Jody, what's going on? She goes, I have to tell you these stories that happened. She says, okay, I did my bucket list like you told me to, and the first thing I put on there was I get paid for my photography. You know how I've always taken these pictures and I've never charged anyone? I decided that I really want to get paid for my photography. I said, okay, cool. She says, and then I put on there I want to go to Florida. And you know we don't have any money. There's no way I'm going to go to Florida, but I put on there I want to go to Florida. She's like, you wouldn't believe what happened. She says, the very next day, someone I had taken pictures for came to my husband, gave him some money, and says, I know Jody won't take this money, so will you please give this to her for taking her pictures? She hadn't even taken another picture yet. Then she met some of her new husband's family. They were visiting from Florida, loved her work, and said, we're going to fly to Florida to take our pictures. This was all within 7 days. I'm not kidding. This is Jody in Florida. Okay? That made me cry, because you don't understand. This girl couldn't even imagine just having a nice husband, let alone being paid for her talents and going to Florida. Okay, this was big. This like made me cry big. Okay? This is amazing. For some reason, starting a bucket list when it's things that it's not like this really big thing that you're so afraid you don't get, go to Australia, go to Florida, whatever it might be, or, get better at a talent, try a hobby, go hang gliding, whatever it might be. We're kind of like, we write those things down. If they don't happen, I'll be okay with that. But see what happens. Now, the amazing thing with this is you start having things happen on your bucket list, and I thought, why does the universe care about going to Florida? Why does the universe care if Abby's a party girl? Why? Why do these things happen? And all of a sudden I realized that if, whether you call it the universe or God or whatever you might call it, if they care about silly things about going to Florida, how much more they must care about that goal that's really deep in your heart that you're just not quite daring to write down. Okay, can you see that? So these things that are really important to you, you'd be amazed what happens and how this energy starts to turn and how you start meeting the right people and getting the right resources. It's an amazing principle to hang on and to try. But it's like so many other things. If you don't try it, you don't quite have your own belief. I had heard about Toastmasters for several years. Some of you might know Suzanne Sullivan. I'd heard about it and whatnot. Decided to finally go, and I'm like, everyone should go to Toastmasters. Okay, it's the greatest thing ever. And it's the same kind of thing. Until you've set those goals, until you went and gave your first speech and realized they're not going to heckle you, they're actually going to be really nicer than they should be, all those things, that it's really an amazing experience that you get to have, okay? So really, before you leave this room, I want you to put some stuff on your bucket list and maybe even put down one of your heartfelt dreams. Okay, so one of the things is that there's a lot of goals that we have, and there's certain things that just can't happen unless we do some activity, okay? So I have a son, I'm going to tell you a little more about him in a minute, but he wants to be an Olympian as a triathlete, okay? Do you think if he just writes that down, that will just kind of happen, okay? He might have to swim a little, bike a little, run a little, maybe a lot, okay, to make that happen. And so that's part of why we have some failure in our goals. It's part of why we get scared is we're like, but I put down that New Year's resolution, and it might be to lose weight or something, and sometimes they're not even actually your heartfelt goals that you put down, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But it's your habits that you have to change. And I'm going to give you some ideas on how to change your habits, because that's what has to happen to have some of our goals actually be accomplished. And we're actually going to use some of these same techniques of having reminders, of writing them down, of reminding ourselves. Because some of us have thought about our goals and we got to the end of 7 days or 30 days or a whole year and went, I still didn't work on that goal, okay? And we're like, darn it, and we're feeling bad about ourselves, so that's when we quit setting goals, right? That's kind of what happens. So I'm going to give you some ideas on that. Oh, I went the wrong way, sorry about that. So this is a fun little tracker that I created, okay? And I have a little email list. If you would like me to email this to you, because I didn't get them printed off, I'd be happy to email it to you. This is what I really, really believe in, okay? Like, really believe in strongly. Like, I won't work with any of my coaching students if they don't do these two things. The first two things, I feel like, I do have a red thing. Okay, first two things you have to do. First one is daily inspiration. You have to do something that keeps your energy high, and the reason is you won't go do the hard thing, or even remember the hard thing, if you don't keep your inspiration, okay? So you might want to buy some books over here from our friend, because he has some great inspiration, okay? So this daily inspiration, I don't care if you call it the scriptures, I don't care if it's a book by me, or a keynote speaker, or by, like you say, the Aladdin Factor. There's success principles, power of positive thinking. Okay, I've got a list so long. My son, who wants to be a triathlete, his favorite is Last Lectures by Randy Pausch. You've got to do something, okay? And what I love about this, when we're all busy, this is the one you can multitask. you can listen to in the car while you're working out, doing dishes, whatever it be. This is a great one to multitask with, okay? Certain things you shouldn't multitask. This one you can. I love to listen to books, but that's my learning style. If you need to read it, you may not be able to multitask as well, okay? The other one is you have to review your goals. The more that you take some time to just review what you want and what's important to you, the more likely you are to do it. It's just one of those things, okay? It's just how it is. If you are in a college course and you never open your math book and then you go to try to take the test, it's not going to work very well. You've got to review your goals. So when you're keeping track of this, you get to decide how many days a week you're going to do that. I'd say please do it at least 5, hopefully 7, but you get to choose, where's Merida? You get to choose how many days a week you're going to do it and then track how many you did. Then down here you're going to set a couple more goals. They may have to do specifically with your goal, or they may have to do with things that are just going to build your confidence. Sometimes we need to build our confidence a little bit. Maybe it's exercise, maybe it's daily planning. Could be all sorts of things, or it might be things specific to your goal. But put these on here, decide how many days a week. So you hit a target point, and then you have total points. And what people love about this is at the end here, we're going to total up these columns, divide and get a percentage, okay? Too fast with math? Okay, I think too fast with math, okay? You're going to have this percentage. I don't care if it's 20% or 99%, you're like, yes, I did something to get towards my goal, okay? So no matter what the percentage is, what people like about this is that they can feel like they had some sort of success. There's going to be weeks someone got sick or a life crisis and numbers going to be low, but if 48 out of 52 of your weeks that number's high, you're going to get somewhere. So just give this a try. Put it on your fridge or put it in your planner, put it on your mirror, whatever you want to do. But this is a lot of fun, this little tracker. Okay, like I said, put your email address down and I'll email it to you if you'd like a copy of it. Okay, so there's 3 questions. I told you we were going to talk a little bit more about how you make sure that you're setting goals that are yours. Because for some reason, New Year's, kind of take what we think everybody else should be doing. I don't know, it always has to do with weight or something. But there's 3 questions, and I'm going to tell you how important, why these are so important. So these questions are actually from a great book called Get Motivated. Okay, I should figure out people's names, but it's called Get Motivated. You'll find it. So the very first question that you'll learn a lot about yourself and other people is this one. When you're setting a goal, is it, or a job, or whatever it might be, is it more important to you that you change the world, or that there's money and titles associated with it? Okay, neither of them are good or bad, and let me tell you why. Mother Teresa's are your extreme change the world people. Earn the money is more your Donald Trumps. But if we don't have Donald Trumps to donate to Mother Teresa, she's not going to get very far. Okay, just because you're driven by money and titles, in no way, shape, or form means you're selfish or worldly. That's just your driving force, but you may be very generous with the money that you donate. Okay. You have to figure out which one of these is more important to you. That's the first one. The next one is, do you like consistent or variety? I have sold lots of different things in my life, and every time I figure out how to sell it, I get bored. And it's really bad, and I thought I was a flake. And I'm not a flake, I like variety. So now, I work with people who sell anything under the sun. I work with youth, I work with families. We talk about the thing I have the most fun with, and one day I'm talking about insurance, another day I'm talking about skirts. I mean, I talk about everything under the sun, and it's so much fun. So I'm a variety person. You might be, it's got to be the same every day, and I just like to see myself get better at that thing, and like consistency. So if you're someone who likes to get up at the same time, have the same actions every day, your consistency. If you're like, yeah, let's do something different every day. I homeschool, and I have one kid's like, let's do science all day, then math and all that, let's do something different every day. And then one that's like, let's do the same 3 things every single time, every day. So you just got to figure out which one you are, because it really helps a lot when you're setting your goals. The next one is, do you like to do things alone or in a group? And that doesn't mean you're antisocial, okay? I love people, but when it comes time to work, leave me alone in my office, and the house better be on fire if you're going to interrupt me, because that's the only reason you can, okay? I'm a work alone person. Whereas some people are, hey kids, let's turn on the music loud, let's everybody get together, let's clean this house together, okay? It just depends on what kind of person you are. When you figure these things out, when you sit down to write down your goals, you can have 2 different people who want to earn $100,000 a year, One person is because of the community service they're gonna do. Another person is gonna be more about security and it makes them feel good to earn that much money. You can have the exact same goal, but you need to put down your whys. Okay, let me go back to this chart real fast. This chart right here, down here, I have people put pictures because I believe in visual aids. I have them put their whys. Why do they want to do that goal? What's it gonna feel like? What's it gonna mean to you? Okay, if you don't have your whys down, you lose focus. It's like, I wanted that big house, but not really that bad because really what I want to do is just go to Africa and serve. I'm happy with the average house, but I don't know, somebody else wanted it and I thought that would be a good idea, but it's not really worth the work, okay? Whereas somebody really, that big house really means a lot to them. Neither of them are right or wrong. It's just you have to know that about yourself. So let me tell you a little bit more about my cute son, Porter. I think that's it. Okay, so Porter wants to be a triathlete. And when you want to be a triathlete, and he's planning on going to Ohio to the Junior National Triathlon competition this summer, you swim a lot, you bike a lot, you run a lot, you're working out 3 to 4 hours a day, which works really well when you're homeschooled. This works out well. Let me tell you a little bit about his motivational style. First of all, he is perfectly fine doing things by himself. When he does have a class of people and he's given the assignment, he takes his desk, moves it over to the corner, does his work, he's the first one done, everyone else is socializing. He is, I work alone. He's the most liked kid I know. It's not that he's antisocial, he just prefers to work alone. So this, hey, go on a 90-minute bike ride, then go swim a mile, then run on your own. Cool, I like to do it on my own anyway. That works for him. The other one is he's consistency. He's not like his mother, okay? I gotta have variety. He is fine with doing it over and over and over again. And he knows that he's probably not gonna go to the Olympics till 2024, which is 10 years away, and yet he can do these obnoxious things, okay? That I'm like, oh, that would drive me nuts. But the really funny thing is, he was at a track meet the other day. I might cry, so hang on. We're at his track meet, and he's running, and he's the consistent kid. He does not sprint for anything. It is the funniest thing ever. So we're trying to get him to at least sprint at the end, which he's getting better at. And so everybody goes out, at least half of them are ahead of him, and he picks one kid off after another around the track, and it's so funny to watch. And he's taken third twice, second twice, and this time it looks like he's gonna be first, and he's coming up on this kid. And he's so close, and he's beat him several times, so I'm kind of wondering what's going on. He comes in 1 second after the kid, I mean right behind him. This other kid wins, and I'm like, okay, cool, you still got second, you're doing good. You know, you don't have to be the best at any one of those three, you just have to be pretty good at all of them to do well at triathlons. So we're talking after, I said, Porter, I'm really surprised you didn't beat this kid, you beat him several times. He says, well, it was a good thing he won. His whole family's here, and they never come and support him, and so it was really good he won. That's a kid who, wants to change the world more than he wants titles. I'm not sure he's ever actually going to be an Olympic athlete because titles really isn't his thing. He really cares about other people, But this kid is going to do great things. He is quite the little inventor. He found a bike at Goodwill yesterday that had a motor on the back of it, and he was so excited to take that thing home. And he's like, Mom, look, this is the law of attraction. I found this electric bike, and this is what I've been wanting to build. Everything. Mom, guess what? I've been wanting to watch Rocky. It's on Netflix finally. Okay, everything in his world is about the law of attraction. He's listened to my books, I think, more than I have. Okay, so you watch for this young man. He's going to do something pretty incredible. Because he has amazing work ethic, but I think it's because we've been setting goals with him since he was 5. I was kind of worried I'd put him into therapy doing that. It's actually working out pretty well, okay? So watch for him in Ohio this summer. He's going to do really well. Okay, one of the other things that is an amazing power that goes off in your brain is the ability to brainstorm and find the solutions you need to make your goals happen. Some of you, especially adults, this is what happened. What happens is I can't put down a goal unless I know how to achieve it. And it's like, yes, you can, just write it down, but I don't know how to achieve it. I don't have the money for that, or I don't have the time for that, or I don't know the right people. Okay, put it down. Because what happens is, I don't know, the best way I can explain it, it's like this hole in your head starts to open up bigger, and this inspiration starts to come through, and these brainstorm ideas. So I want to tell you about these 3 amazing ladies. There were 3 gals that were in Africa, and they saw these kids studying by kerosene lamp. Do you have any idea what happens to your lungs when you sit by a kerosene lamp a couple hours a night, what it's compared to? You're shaking your head. It's just like smoking 2 packs of cigarettes, okay? And they said, oh, there's got to be a better way to do this. And they studied at Harvard, but they weren't engineer students. One had an economics degree and some other things. They went back and talked to the engineering students and said, look, this is what we want to do. First of all, they don't have sporting equipment, and they're studying by kerosene lamps. There's got to be a way to fix this. They said, we want to create a soccer ball and put on the inside of it that when you kick this ball, that it stores energy and we can plug a lamp into it. And they said, that can't be done. I said, here, watch us. Okay, which I love anybody like that. So these gals created this thing is called the socket ball. Okay, and this ball can be kicked around for 15 minutes and has 3 hours of light that then can be used in the evening. They found that the boys would take over the socket ball, and so the girls weren't getting a chance to. So now they have a jump rope. So you can look it up as Uncharted Play. Okay, brainstorming is an amazing, amazing power that comes in you when you set your goals. You will meet the right people, get these ideas, and it always, for some reasons, happens to me in the shower. It's probably because I don't have 4 kids talking to me at the same time. I don't know. But you will. You'll get amazing ideas and start meeting the right people. Okay, allow this brainstorming activity to work for you. Okay, because it's powerful. Oh my goodness, I love these gals. There's a lot of cool stories out there. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you about is some of you might be thinking, but wait a minute. There's this thing I've been thinking about, and it still hasn't happened. So let me give you the best worst example. So if you're someone who wants to lose weight, and you're like, but I think about this all the time. So why isn't that happening like Michelle says? Well, there's a chance that the words going through your head really are, instead of I'm skinny, I'm healthy, I love vegetables, I love getting down, walking 3 miles a day, is I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat. I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke, okay? It's like this really bad negative cycle that goes on in your head. You're like, but I'm thinking about this thing. The problem is we have to change it into the positive words. Okay, remember what you learned at the very beginning? Your brain doesn't hear the word not, okay? Those things do not work. We have to say what we want. So this amazing lady, I saw this story last night, I was doing some research, and her name is Susie Mann. You can't tell, this lady is actually 79. She's, where's my little pointer? Right here, this gal. She's actually 79. That picture doesn't, she didn't have her sunglasses on, you'd be able to tell she looks more aged. But she was this person who just loved life, she had all this enthusiasm, she did all these things for other people, and she got this diagnosis that she had terminal cancer and she was going to die within 4 to 6 months. And she said, okay, let's make a bucket list, let's just make the best of it, I'm not doing treatment. And at first her family was kind of sad about that, but she says, no, we all die eventually. She's like, you live life. You live it. You focus on what you want to have. You live life. And so this is her hand gliding. She had several things on her bucket list to do. Live your life. You could die tomorrow. You could die 100 years from now, okay? It doesn't matter, but go after your goals. Just go do them, have some fun, see what can happen. And a lot of times you end up on this path that you had no idea was going to be so amazing. I tell you, that's happened with Toastmasters for me. Alrighty. One of the things that I really believe is that the power is in you. So I want you to go back and really think about some of the things we've talked about. Make sure you're telling yourself what you really want to have happen. Make sure that you're writing down or creating visual aids for yourself. I have one more quick story. See this little 25? This was a magic tool for one of my students. She was a swimmer. She was a high school swimmer. And if you know, the length of an Olympic pool is 50 meters. And she wanted a 25-second 50 meter from start You come to the wall and you end. There's no flip turn, she's just this one length. And she really wanted to get a 25-second 50 freestyle. She went to her coach, she says, this is my goal. The coach said, you can't do it that fast. Which, don't even get me started on someone that would say that, but okay. And I said, all right. I said, how about you come to my house? I actually don't know anything about swimming, but please come to my house and we'll do a little bit of mental work. And she said, okay. So she came, we started with a bucket list and a dream board, and we started talking about her goal and her swimming. I said, I have this idea. Let's put 25s everywhere. So we had them cut out in vinyl. They're all over her walls. Her mom put a 25 on her lunch bag and on her napkin every day. What's the last thing you look at when you're ready to dive in? Her toes. It was painted on her toenails. It was everywhere, okay? We had 25s everywhere we could think of.
Good idea.
She surpassed her goal. I really want to have words with the coach, but I didn't. Okay, put your goals everywhere. Here's a couple of fun places. By your bed. This is what you're there every day and night, okay? My favorite is by my speedometer. I have 4 children. We go a lot of places and I'm always speeding, so I'm always checking to make sure that I'm, 5 to 7, I'm not gonna get a ticket, okay? My speedometer is one of my favorite places. Put your little goals everywhere. Oh, thanks. Okay, so make sure you do that. The other thing is work on your habits, okay? Figure out a way to do that. It can be an accountability partner, which I really highly recommend that, or coach or anything along those lines. It can be a group of some sort. But you can even use Toastmasters as a way to count as to some things that you want to do. Put it on paper. Have a chart, okay? Start those things, all right? But whatever you do, please start by writing it down and allowing yourself to see what's going to happen, okay? I'm actually there's going to be a flyer, or just going to be passed around in just a second. My contact info's on there, and I know a couple of you will write things down and you'll have amazing things happen. It might be tomorrow, might be a week from now, might be a year from now. But please email me and let me know what happens, because I love celebrating with you. It's one of the best parts of what I do. So do that. And I just want you to remember that the power is always in you, just like our dear little Glenda said, okay? It is there. Let your own magical powers come out. Tell yourself what you want to have happen. Tell other people in your life what you want them to do instead of not do, and let them help you get there. But goal setting is an amazing power that I know you can accomplish far more than you dreamed you could. We have just a couple more minutes, so I'm going to actually open it up to questions and see if there's anything that I either didn't clarify or if there's something you would like a little more explanation on.
Children's goals.
Children's goals. Okay, this is my carnal rule on this, and I mean it with every ounce of my heart. You can't have any say in their goals. Okay, I'll tell you why. Porter was 5. I said, let's try setting goals. We lived in North Dakota. It's flat. It's boring. There's nothing there. Really, it's a bad place to live, okay? And my farmer husband would not agree with you, but that's my opinion. Porter said, I want a new house. I want to live by mountains, and I want to see cowboys. I said, oh, well, that was a failing experience. Kind of like put it out of my head. By the end of the year, we lived in Montana. Okay? You don't poo-poo any of their goals, and I will tell you, like my daughter, I had some other gals over, they were putting dream board together, and my daughter, who's a couple years younger, started getting influenced by them putting stuff on her dream board that wasn't her goals. And I'm like, I know those aren't her heartfelt goals, what should I do? I just let them be. Went in her room to say goodnight one night, it was just like 6 weeks later. She says, Mom, I gotta redo my goals in my dream board. Those aren't really my goals, okay? You gotta just let them put down anything they want. It's okay if some of them don't happen. Some of our goals don't happen, but you'll see amazing things happen. I have a really cool story if you want to stay after, a really cool story about Yellowstone. My son putting me want to go to Yellowstone. I wasn't going. The school went. It was way more exciting than we ever could imagine, okay? Let kids set their goals. They have so much power in them. Okay, does that help? Other hand.
Now, my question is, when you was listing those 3, sometimes I like to work alone, sometimes I like to work in a group. I'm not just one or the other.
Right.
A lot of times both.
Mm-hmm.
So How do you choose that?
Sometimes you know, like this area, you like to have groups, and this area you like one-on-one or individual. You know, it's just one of those things. It's kind of a guideline. It's not like there's a place that says, you said you wanted to do it in groups, and here you are sitting alone. You know what I mean? It's okay to change it up. Okay?
You said something about your goals being heartfelt versus ones that you might not feel as strongly about but need to do. I don't remember you expanding on that as much.
Okay, if there's something you quote unquote need to do but you don't love to do it, what you want to do is bring in that why. The reason I'm exercising is because this is my goal in the long run. I mean, you think Porter wants to go run and bike and swim every single day? Not always, but he knows what the long-term goal is. So that's why you gotta have a really solid why. Or the other thing you do, if there's something you really don't like to do, but the thing you're really good at makes you plenty of money, you get someone else to do the part you really hate doing. I'm a really big believer in that. You look at my website, it's a mess because I'm not gonna sit down and do my website, so I finally hired someone, because it's not my thing, it's not talking to people.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another way. We have 1 minute, so maybe one more question. I'll be around all day, so you can talk to me at lunch and stuff. Okay, yeah.
So the cleaning the room note that you give him every day for thanking him, or you
No,
only
I
said
just
one
hung it
time?
on his door.
Hung it on his
I'm
door?
sure I'm gonna have to do it again. Goal setting, I really believe in doing goal setting about every 30 days. You can see this in my book. If you want an ebook, let me know and I'll send one to you. Every 30 days, like I'll do a dream board, and then dream sketching is where you draw it out. Another day, write it out in full sentences. Another time, I'll take a water bottle that I carry around and put Sharpie, my goals in it, and with Sharpie. You have to refuel that fire, so that just happened 10 days ago, so the room's still clean for now. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but it worked. Okay, so I compare goal setting to the scripture, pray always, but you didn't just pray once. You probably shouldn't just set your goals once. Okay?
I'd like to remind people that turn your evaluations into the back to Elizabeth, and there's Michelle's handout back there that Elizabeth also has. If you're in the contest for evaluation, or you're one of the judges, that briefing is gonna happen in about 5 minutes somewhere.
And if you'd like to get on my email list, be sure and fill this paper out here and I have some business cards.
More of the same.
Yes.
Both my clubs have taken off and it's been forever. 50, 60. All of a sudden, both of them. Yes, and now we have kind of a synergy to draw.
Does anybody want to help a first timer and sign their name? First timer out. I am a first timer.
Oh, really?
Different reasons that happen. Just fall out, really hit the members.
Yeah. What two clubs are they?
Stars Clan is one, the Clothes Club is a good one.
Yes.
Right.
And then there's Evergreen.
Perfect. Okay, sounds great.
Yeah, it has. It's one
We
of
were
the
up
older
to
ones.
20.
What's the number on that one? It's an older one.
480. Evergreen's around. Stars Clan's
It's an original number for Evergreen. So they probably
I need to go over it.
were founded back there in the late 40s.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to.
And you've been a member.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. There you go. And if put your name next to it, put down Mom's speaker so I remember, okay? And I can even follow up with
Get
you.
rusty.
You know, it's not how great I
I
am.
wanted to give it to
Oh,
her.
cool.
What I like is the energy that I get
I do too.
and how I learn from other people. I miss that.
Oh,
Not that much.
I'm
It's the
getting
people that
old,
really
and they're the
wear it.
youth that compared to her info.
Uh-huh.
So,
I'd like to send her her email.
Certifications. You get a good job.
Yeah. Too many sodas.
oh, yeah.
I'll let her live through it.
We hear like that.
What is that?
Cool. Uh-huh.
Thank you.
You know what you're looking for. Or if you, I mean, that's 2 years ago.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I thought I thought I had to just write it in eventually. Did you guys get the
Yeah, I have a laptop, I have it on both.
I really love hanging out. And not come off pushy.
Yeah.
Yeah, consultant versus, yeah.
Like I'm on the Ellen show.
Yeah. Where are you from?
Yes.
You ag up there?
Yeah, I moved up there.
Yeah. You are really welcome.
Oh, you did too, yeah.
Right in the house.
Yes.
Right on.
All part. Cool.
Biggest town.
Hey, I can. Yes,
You guys
yes.
think I'll win
Let me
the
just
year?
get rid of this first.
Down there? Yeah, North Dakota. I saw
Sorry, I
that.
got some
Yeah,
things
of course,
put at me. I
I
was
saw
like,
some wind.
I,
Can you sign for the email of the form?
There was
I might give this back to Michelle.
notebook going around.
Michelle's to sign.
well, I will see you around. and
Very nice to meet you. Thanks,
You
Mark.
betcha. Good luck.
Thank you. So where's everybody from? Like, who's the farthest place? Local. Is everybody Tri-Cities? Yeah, Wenatchee. Wenatchee, Moscow. Oh, cool.
That's a little bit of a.
I thought you meant where we're from.
I live here in Tri-Cities.
Yes.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Are you having a good time?
You're welcome.
Good for you. Yeah, it is. It's really good. Yeah, it's a Saturday thing. A lot of people don't like to get up there
Anybody else
Saturday.
have an evaluation form they want to
It
get?
is.
Oh, I know, I saw her.
Especially things like this. Really
You have children?
kind of push it along and
No,
away.
just like curious.
So, what's your family doing without you today? Doing their own things? Yeah, Dad's not there. He says, do this and do that.
Yeah.
But he's the ag guy. He's the, that's out the truck. Oh, explain this, that works right in this.
Evaluation.
And me, she had to go. We've been to Toastmasters for very long. That would be fun, Agra. What probably was that, wasn't it? What was it? I don't remember your name, sorry. Marcy.
I gave mine.
Yes, please.
I know.
14, 12, 8, and 5.
Oh.
I figured they were mid-teens to younger.
Yes, yes. So,
Mine's 29, 31, and 33.
oh, there you go. And it's just or whatever you call it. I would enrich it. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, thanks. I know. Thank you. Yeah, I should have Toastmasters a long time ago. I don't know. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm good at it. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Hi. Nice to meet you. Vicky. Okay. Okay, sorry. You got it too fast.
Similar to yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. So tell me what you're trying to accomplish, like why do you go to those?
Yeah.
If it's
I
trying to
was looking at always on the days passing up.
that's okay.
That I had missed something, but I.
Yeah.
You guys wanna go more?
Yeah, so you're off
That's where I'm
the.
at.
Realized that you had it.
Well,
That's okay. I have another copy.
Oh, goody.
I can't compare.
All right.
So I just, you just let me know.
Okay, I'll keep looking too, so I'll let you know, like,
Okay.
Gotcha. Thank you for not saying that.
So how is that going? Like how far are you getting? You know what, so I teach people like
Next is
needs
the
based, like
evaluation
ask lots
contest.
of
It's gonna
questions
be very
and go,
cool.
okay, this is what I have to offer,
So they'll have a target
and
score probably
we have like
like
these 90-day
50
challenges, I work
challenges.
with people on
And
all
then
different
the
kinds of
different evaluators.
fields that are
will have to
consulting or
do
sales or
that.
whatever you call it, so
And
if you ever wanna
you
join us,
sign up
they're a
sheet.
lot of fun, wonderful, a lot of fun. Mhm.
Looks good.
I know.
So they're probably prepping the judges right now and telling them, contestants their.
Yeah. Yeah. And Elaine.
And the evaluation contest starts at 10:15.
Oh, so we got.
I'm kind of, I know, their character builds so much when you do.
That was really good.
And then they're in the water, it's scary, because you're like.
I'm glad they didn't show it until later because that was really when.
I know, I'm always the loudest, the last kid is coming like a lady behind, I'm screaming, so like, I'm playing her. Why is my presentation purple?
Yeah, we got moved to this afternoon.
Is this for me? You're my card, okay, all right, okay, bye Vicky. Hi.
We can put another in my agenda of
I
life.
put you, all the evaluation forms
We
over
can
there,
sort
those
of
are
a-
for you.
Oh,
to
wow.
evaluate
That
it.
maybe I wanna do,
Thank
but,
you very much.
this, I,
A little bit.
and counties.
And that's because you go really fast.
And this is.
Oh.
Don't pause.
Okay, thank you.
And I wrote it down.
Thank you.
And I
That's
should also tell you, when I was
I tried to
younger,
switch information there.
Toastmasters,
we
priority,
were at a
so
British
it's easy for me to go to this
and,
one,
there was a team from Harvard.
but I don't know if it has
And
any.
this British British Benchmark.
So it's a break right here.
So we have 20 minutes. I would do great on
Thank you so much, that is exactly what I was gonna.
Harvard was
and all that. And
in
so,
second place
So that,
to a British.
you guys can
And my
look at the
mother-
bookstore, look at the silent auction,
nice.
take a whatever you need to do.
I so believe my energy helps people win. My poor child, because when they swim, they can't hear, you know, and I'm down here screaming. I'm screaming so loud.
I can hear you. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for
Hi.
sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And what's your name?
Angelina.
Angelina. Yes, I feel like I've seen you somewhere.
I know.
Tri-Cities.
Yeah, you look familiar, sound familiar, but I don't know if we've met.
What church do you go to? I do some stuff with sex trafficking with Bethel sometimes. I don't know if you've ever been involved with that.
I haven't been involved, but I just.
I mean, I don't attend that church, but because I do sex trafficking and I do too, you know, join forces, so.
Exactly.
Oh, very cool. So tell me about yourselves. Were you thinking of goal
Beth has
setting?
a question too, right? Was it about the guy with the Aladdin?
Oh, was that his name? I just wrote
Called
down
the Aladdin Factor.
Aladdin
Factor.
Factor.
But what was the
Yeah.
name?
Oh, Jack Canfield?
Yeah, and Victor, I mean, that's his last name.
But you have a book out there?
You know what, it's an ebook, like here's a copy of it, yeah, if you want a copy of the ebook,
So
I'll
you're
order it.
kind of just
Yeah,
not.
let me know and I will
We're
give you
to
one.
plan up.
Yeah, or you can go to the
So
website
the
and
call
order
is
one.
up to her because
Okay.
she was
You
participating.
know, I was in,
Makes sense for what you're doing.
so yeah, so you work for Panera?
I do.
Cool, what do you do for
Absolutely.
them?
I'm a
Absolutely.
senior systems analyst for them. Been there forever. IT, so I'm a nerdy.
Do you want to expose them
introvert.
to the other?
I like working
That's
alone.
okay.
I like
Yeah,
that.
would
I
that
like.
be, oh, yeah.
I joined Toastmasters in October, so that I'm stretching myself.
Yeah,
So it's
You're more active.
Well, that's good, but I mean, it builds your confidence, yeah.
Yeah, cause I was like,
My husband does it. Well, confidence in general or confidence in speaking, that's how it
oh,
goes.
it's definitely zero in speaking.
But I bet tabletop, I bet you do, I mean, there's this one gal that's real quiet and she's new to our club and I can't believe how far she's come in like 4, maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
All her ums are gone. The only thing that ever stumps her is a table topic where she really has nothing to relate to. That's the only time I see her stumped anymore. Otherwise, wow.
Do you think we have to add another class?
So keep doing it.
I just like.
She's actually very good.
Check the
Yeah,
lines.
No,
people
because-
that are quiet are thinkers, and so they're very deliberate about what they say.
And she
So,
does
yeah.
very,
Bye,
very,
guys.
very well.
Bye.
Thank you so
Michelle.
much.
Thank
You did.
you.
She's very confident, so she gets up there and she doesn't look all
Yes,
nervous.
You're
You're a good BSer. You're a good BSer.
You're you can't do it, you're slack. So I'm
no,
very
no,
good
there's a
at
lot of
that.
riffing.
You know,
Yeah.
it's that lifelong, get those negative things, get away. It's down. So,
You're good. So.
no, I'm a kind of a note, that's my challenge, I think, in Toastmasters, because I think about what I'm gonna write, and I write it as like I'm gonna say it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heavily, it's very hard for me to give a speech without looking at it and then.
What number are you on? What number speech are you in?
4.
4. Okay. So do an outline.
Oh,
I'm pretty. If you have, you have your intro, then you have 3 points or 3 stories, and then a conclusion. You can riff off those 4 things in case you're like, oh, what was my 3rd point? Okay. So no, just go down to 1 3x5 card with those 5 things. You can do it. Okay. Okay. You can have them on your fingers. Outline, point 1, 2, 3, conclusion. No, you can do this. You can do this because I get how I'm lucky, I guess, because I don't get as nervous. I don't forget things as much as other people do. So I get there's people that just literally freeze. I forgot what I'm gonna say. But you can riff off of 3 keys. You can do that. Yeah.
That'll be my next goal.
Yeah. And the thing is, you might have a few more ums and stuff, but it's okay. It'll get better.
That's
Keep going.
That's the fear, is that either forgetting what I'm gonna talk about, or if I'm not scripted, then I'm gonna have the ums and the ahs and the.
But instead of saying just slow down and take a pause, then keep going. You learn that as a habit to pause instead of saying pause. And the pauses are good in speeches anyway, so you just replace the replace the with the silence. I'm not tired. The silence. Yeah. Or like my kids,
So you're doing the
they have this big competition, this Lego week, and they have to do a presentation. And so I'm like, Toastmasters, we learned from doing a
Just wanted to make
presentation.
sure you
They're
weren't
14 and 12, and my son's so nervous for
So,
me.
no,
Yeah, they went out songs or something. And they really kind of racked on him. I'm like, guys, they're 12 and 14.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to stop the recording. Would you put stop on my recording?
Oh,
Oh, my.
This has been recording a long time. On the right hand side, there's a silver button you push